Do you anticipate shopping around a little bit more before 4 o'clock?
We'll see what happens. I like shopping.
I think he meant to say window shopping. Big deep news. Come on, bro. Steelers, what are we doing? It's past 4 o'clock, and we don't have another receiver. But receivers did get traded. Guys that were linked to the Steelers. Jacoby Myers, Rashid Shaheed. Jacoby Myers goes to the Jaguars for a 4th and a 6th round pick. And Rashid Shaheed goes to the Seahawks for a 4th and a 5th round pick. We could have done that. I'm less pissed about the Jacoby Myers one because whenever I saw he was traded first between the two. When I saw that happen, I'm like, okay, there's still some guys out there. Let's see what happens with Waddle. Let's see what happens with Shaheed. Maybe a Garrett Wilson, Brian Thomas, Calvin Ridley. Let's see what happens with the rest of those receivers and if they get traded and what they would ultimately go for me to get like a real gauge or assessment on like if we really missed out on trading for Jacoby Myers. So like I wasn't too mad about that, but then I saw Shaheed. When Shaheed went for the 4th and the 5th, I'm like, dude, that's the one we should have went for. Because the two guys that got traded between Shaheed and Jacoby Myers, I preferred Shaheed. I think he's way more of a playmaker. I think he would have fit in perfect. Could have helped us in the return game too. 4th and a 5th, and it was reported that the Saints were looking to get a 3rd. Come on, man. He would have been a definitive upgrade over what we got in the building in the receiver room. Definitive. Playmaker. Like MVS, can take the top off of defense, get him the ball in space. He makes things happen. 800, 900-yard receiver year in and year out. Made too much sense for us not to do it. And then, so I'm thinking, okay, there's still some other big names out there. Waddle, Ridley, Garrett Wilson, Brian Thomas. Let's see if Omar Khan can cook something up. Because I think the trade, when did the Shaheed trade happen? Around noon, 1 o'clock? All right, let's see if Omar Khan got something else up his sleeve. No, like, here's the thing. I get just not making a trade for the sake of making a trade. If Dolphins wanted too much for Waddle or if Titans wanted too much for Ridley. Garrett Wilson, I know the Jets were having a fire sale, getting rid of Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, but if they weren't trading Garrett Wilson, like no matter what the price was, then there's really not much you could do about that. But when I saw the Shaheed trade, I'm like, yeah, that was the one we whiffed on. Like, absolutely. That's the one that I'm going to critique the Steelers and Omar Khan for not going out of their way and getting. Because a 4th and a 5th within conference. Come on. If we just would have offered the 4th and the 5th, I think Saints would have done it with us over the Seahawks, given that we're in the AFC. Damn, bro. Damn. Asante Samuel's still out there. Can we make that move at least? Can we do something? I still like the MVS pickup for the practice squad, but there's no excuse for not making that Rashid Shaheed trade, I feel like. Damn. I don't know if I got anything else to say. I still think we can be contenders if the defense steps up. But as I said, like, why leave it fully to that chance? Why not at least try to improve the offense as best as you can? Go all in, right? Add that extra receiver. Because I think it's been clear up to this point. With the full offense body of work, 8-9 weeks in, we could use an extra receiver. Just flat out. We can use an extra receiver. We trade Pickens for a 3rd, man. We trade Pickens away for a 3rd. Like, part of me is like, we should have just given up the 1st for Jalen Waddle. Really? You think the Eagles did that with A.J. Brown? Definitely worked out. Where they had 2 dynamic receivers for these last, 2 or 3 years. And somehow they were still paying Jalen Hurts. So, we could have given up the 1st round pick. You get a guaranteed, top 15 receiver and Jalen Waddle across from DK Metcalf. Aaron Rodgers on the cheap contract. You know you're going to have most likely a cheap quarterback contract going forward in 2026 where you could afford that extra receiver, those 2 top receivers in DK and Jalen Waddle. Like, part of me is like, what? I would have been fine just giving up the 1st. I know it's steep. 2nd or 3rd would have been preferable. But damn. If we're talking about going all in, if we feel like we really got a chance, It would have been a move to make. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. A little bummed out. Ain't the end of the world. Think we should have made a move, specifically that one for Rashid Shaheed. But stay chilling. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.